This podcast is sponsored by Uncomfortable Ideas by Bo Bennett, PhD. Challenge your beliefs and embrace the uncomfortable. Discover the power of confronting ideas that push your boundaries. Get the book or enroll in the online course today at uncomfortable-ideas.com.
Economic justice and the harsh reality of change, challenging the status quo. Examining why true economic justice might require harsh measures many find unacceptable and the importance of embracing discomfort for real change. Economic justice and the uncomfortable price of change. You know, I've been thinking a lot lately about this whole idea of economic justice. It sounds noble, right? Fairness, equity, closing the gap between rich and poor, who wouldn't be for that? But here's the kicker. What if achieving true economic justice actually requires some harsh measures that a lot of people just aren't willing to accept? Now, I'm not talking about simple fixes or small reforms. I mean serious dramatic shifts that shake up the entire system. Stuff that makes people uncomfortable, triggers those uncomfortable conversations we tend to avoid. The kind of uncomfortable truths that challenge our deeply held beliefs about money, fairness, and who deserves what. Look, when we talk about economic justice, it's often framed in a very idealistic way. The narrative sounds like, let's make things equal, everyone's happy. But in reality, when you start challenging the status quo, you quickly find that the people benefiting from current systems don't just roll over. They resist. Their lifestyles, their privileges, their power feel threatened, and that's when things get messy. Take something like heavy taxation on the wealthy or redistributing assets on a massive scale. It might sound logical to some, but to others, it feels like theft or punishment. And those are just the less severe examples. What if achieving real economic equity requires policies that come across as invasive or even punitive? Things like mandatory wealth caps, stringent regulations on corporations, or even limiting inheritance rights. These kinds of harsh measures make many people recoil because they're seen as extremes, offences to deeply held ideas of freedom and personal property. That's why conversations around economic justice are so rare and fraught. People want to believe in fairness, but only if it doesn't disrupt their own comfort or challenge their vision of what society should be like. It's inconvenient, uncomfortable, even offensive to some to confront the possibility that meaningful progress might require sacrifices, not just promises. Here's where it gets interesting. Some thinkers argue that embracing discomfort is actually necessary. Yes, acknowledging that progress might involve trade-offs is tough, but it can open up new ways to think about fairness and change that are more realistic. Understanding different perspectives, including those who feel threatened by change, is key if we want any hope of moving forward. One resource that digs into these themes really well is the book Uncomfortable Ideas by Bo Bennett, PhD. This book doesn't just tiptoe around contentious issues, it pushes readers to confront ideas that might be offensive or unsettling, but also thought-provoking. It's exactly the kind of material that sparks those uncomfortable conversations we tend to avoid but desperately need. So when we talk about economic justice, maybe it's time to stop sugarcoating it. Maybe true fairness isn't some gentle balancing act but a rocky road paved with difficult choices. And maybe the reason we struggle so much with economic inequality is because we're simply unwilling to accept what it might take to fix it. At the end of the day, challenging the status quo means we have to be ready to face more than just theoretical debates. We have to be ready to wrestle with real, sometimes harsh consequences and uncomfortable realities. It's not easy, and it's definitely not pleasant. But maybe that's exactly why it's necessary. If you want to explore these ideas further and aren't afraid to face some discomfort, I highly recommend checking out Uncomfortable Ideas by Bo Bennett, PhD. It's a thought-provoking resource for anyone interested in embracing the complexity and discomfort required for true change. Go ahead, explore the book now and prepare yourself for some challenging but valuable perspectives.